Here at Apache Camping Center, we look hard to find the RVs that match three separate criteria: the size, amenities, and build quality. Now, EPRO is a unicorn brand that actually fits all three of those into a size that is small enough to tow with a variety of different vehicles. They gained their popularity during the pandemic when a lot of people were looking to work remote and wanted to go hit the road. The EPRO offered something that was really unique at the time and still continues to this day, with the amenities jam-packed for comfortability and ease of use for mobile work. It translated into a lot of people actually just going full time in these trailers that fit behind so many different vehicles and fit into so many different campsites that they just exploded. Now, coming out with new models, they have never ceased to impress with this one of their newest, the 15 FBS. Let's take a look inside. Now, with the EPRO line, there comes a lot of different amenities packed on board. In this 17-foot 5-inch package from tip to tail, you do have your standard 200-watt solar panel, a inverter on board so you can run your coffee pot off-grid. You've got larger off-grid or knobby tires to get you over some of those rugged roads. It's going to be a 7-foot wide box, and you also have your awning, your quick connect propane, outdoor grill set, outdoor speaker, outdoor light, frameless windows, no wood in the the frame at all, and not in the walls, so you don't have to worry about any of that mildew or mold or delaminating that can happen with wood interior. So it's aluminum framed all throughout, 360 degrees. And then you have a fully insulated and enclosed underbelly with 12-volt heat pads on all of the tanks, giving you the ability and confidence to go bring this to the mountain if you want to go snowshoeing or skiing in the winter. So as with any smaller trailer, we really want to look at outdoor storage. And in this 17-foot box, they've actually provided quite a bit. You do lose your front pass-through to get these larger compartments that stand about 2.5 feet tall by a foot wide that you can put, in here we have just the rolling block for the tongue, but you can also put some other playthings in there. Maybe if you've got muddy boots, you can throw them in there as well. Now, the real key to this outdoor storage is going to be their pass-through. So this goes all the way through. It's extremely deep, and you might be thinking, okay, if I throw something in there and it gets into the middle of this, how the heck am I going to get in there? I can't crawl in and get something out. And that's where we get a look at what's inside. Now, a lot of you may recognize this as a Murphy bed. And for those who don't necessarily see that, this is going to be the leg, and then the bed just slips back in here. Now, the nice thing about this Murphy bed, when we pull it down in a second, is you see that it doesn't split the mattress at all. And so you can leave it all bedded up, so when you pull it down, it's already made. Now, the recliners that you have in here, because it's such a small footprint, if you were to just have a dedicated bed, you wouldn't be able to have the seating arrangement for just enjoying the trailer during a daytime or having a little work session. Now, this does come with a lagoon table that is pretty comfy. I mean, it sits pretty far out when you're actually using it. These are, they do have footrests on here, so it makes it pretty comfortable when you're using this just during the daytime. And again, with this, you can kind of configure it how you want to work or play. Had a lot of people make comments of, it's a perfect card playing table. You can sit side by side and play cards. Now let's take a look at how to fold this down and turn it into the bedroom. First, we're going to take out this lagoon table. Pop that out. Pull the jackknife flat, so if you want to take a cat nap, that's an easy way to do it. And then we'll unlike this and pull it down. Now you're sitting on your bed. Now at 6'5", my feet do hang over a little bit. You do open up a nice front window, so it brings in a lot more light. But also, when you are laying down here, you've got your 110 plugs. They are inverted, especially for those that have a CPAP machine. If you want to bring those along, it's a great option. And then they've put the 110, 12 volt, and USB 3 on the sides here. Now, hanging lockers are going to be, everything's accessible outside of the bed itself when the bed is up. So that's really nice to have. One other thing to consider is when you enter in, you do have to squeeze by if you're going to leave the bed down, but with the bed up, it's a normal entryway. Put it back up. You just put it up, make sure you lock it so it doesn't go flying. And then one thing that I did want to note, we were talking about before, is getting into the pass-through. If something gets to the middle of the pass-through and you can't crawl through, you don't want to crawl through that little opening on the outside, if you lift up the jackknife just a bit, you have full access to your pass-through because it's just connected to the underside of your couch. All right, so speaking of entertainment systems, this is sitting right across our little kitty corner to the recliners themselves. This is going to be a nice 12-volt TV. Again, really easy to use with the package on board. Smart TV that's going to give you access to all the different fun things to watch. And then you have a nice platform down below, which actually has a little bit of an overhang right here that you could turn into a small desk. Now, storage on here is actually pretty nice. A nice deep locker right here with movable shelves, which you do have a hanging locker rack up top if you wanted to hang some different robes or her jackets or cocktail dresses for all those fancy parties that you're going to. And then next to it, you do have a deeper 12-volt fridge. Again, powered by that 200-watt solar panel up top. You're going to be able to run this fridge for quite a long time, especially when you're hitting 100% capacity, which, you know, how often do you hit 100%? A little bit, hit or miss. We have run an experiment where we put one battery up front. There's a spot for 2 batteries and 2 propane tanks up front, but we put one battery on and we had just the 200-watt solar panel running, and it lasted, the fridge lasted about a week, 7 days on heavily overcast skies. Now, remembering that we are in a 17-foot 5-inch overall trailer, we've already seen quite a bit. You've got your bed, a couch with a footrest, a huge fridge, and lots of storage. Now, moving further into the kitchen, you have a 3-burner stove. On a trailer this size, that is above and beyond. Not only that, you have a window right above the stove, as well as a nice vent fan. Below that, you've got a nice microwave, and then flipping around to the rear of the trailer, you've got a nice pop-up inverted 120-watt and USB 12-volt plugs. Lots of storage up top for any of your food storage, some spots for maybe plates or something down below, as well as access to plumbing for the sink, and a fairly good sized sink and prep space. And you've got a good area to move around and do anything that you need to do in the kitchen. Again, a very small platform, but a lot packed in. Now, if you look at the head height, I'm about scraping my head on here, but remember that I'm 6'5", so make your judgment accordingly on how tall you are and how you would fit in here. All right, just again, to give you an idea, this is me standing straight up in the shower. I am obviously just kind of gonna have to shrink down a bit and make it work. But like I said, with this curtain, it's going to make it a lot easier to bump up your arm up against it and give yourself just a little bit more room to maneuver when you are showering in a little bit smaller space. So this has been the 15 FBS, 17 feet 5 inches overall, just under 3,500 pounds, with a 31-gallon fresh tank, 21-gallon gray tank, and 21-gallon black tank. You have so much amenities packed into this size of a trailer. It is absolutely phenomenal that EPRO has been able to do this and has consistently done it with model after model that they've rolled out. If you're interested in this particular trailer or any of the other EPRO models, feel free to reach out to us at apachecamping.com or hit the link below for pricing and availability. If you want to see any more of these tours, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.